Everybody's kind of shy. Oh, there's somebody. Sabine, okay. Go ahead.
Am I unmuted? Did you unmute my?
Yes,
Yeah, I
everybody
am.
hears you.
Okay. So, hi Judy. It's nice to meet you tonight. It's really amazing. My question is, I've been retired for 5 months now. And as I know, this is the last phase of my life, and I'm aging. I'm still fit, but still, the topic of aging is of great concern for me, and of all the body issues which are related to this. So a less performing body, and getting ill or sick from time to time, and I'm still terrified by death. So could you please tell your point of view about, I know all the theoretical things which are in the course about death. It is said that death is a fear of God, fear of death is a fear of God, but I'm still not finished with this topic. So could you please tell your opinion on this topic, please?
Oh, I'd love to. In a couple of months, I'm going to be 88. So you can imagine this is definitely on my mind, but in a different way than I imagined. And I think that because my life is really lived now, really letting myself know that I am not in charge, that I have, I'll call it an inner partner, a higher teacher, higher intelligence, God, the Holy Spirit, I don't care what name we give it, but that partnership is deep within me and it leads to my true identity. The more I practice that by telling myself, practice is just repetition and over until what you feel could be true, you know that you believe. And then eventually you get to the place, and you do, where you don't believe anymore, you know. There's a difference. Right now in my life, I know there is no death. I'm not the least bit fearful of what the next step is. In fact, I'm packed and ready to go. But I'm not so happy about dying. If someone promised me I'd go to sleep and I'd awaken without my body, I'd say, whoopee. But I do have concerns still about all the doctors I see. I have only very few friends left who are at the same stage I am, because many of them have gone already. But every time we talk to each other or write to each other, we notice that the first thing we do, and we're not all that musical, is we have our organ recital first. We tell each other about all the organs in our bodies that are suffering and what level they're at and how many doctors we've seen this week and what medicines we're on. So there's a lot of attention at this time of life with the medical community and with concern about the way your own body is beginning, I can't say to fail you, the way we're outliving its usefulness. And because I feel really blessed that I've had experiences of death very close to me, where I have seen it's nothing more than just a passage from one stage to another. There's no question in my mind that we, the essence of what we are, don't disappear, but probably are very glad to get out of the shell that's gotten a little too old to wear. It's like taking off an old overcoat and you say, you've done a good job, but you're really kind of threadbare. Now maybe someone else can wear you, but I don't want to be seen in you anymore. And using the humor that is inherent in you, and also the deep knowledge that if you decide that death is not the end of what you are, and let the Holy Spirit show you, you're going to get enough indication as you move along through this phase that you need not be fearful. A process. I watched my mother, who was not a student of anything, and she was just a very sweet, kind, good lady. And about 4 or 5 days before she died. She was at a restaurant with my daughter and my daughter's husband and me and my husband. We had just seen a movie and we're out to dinner. And I said to her, and she was living with me at the time because she was old and I was companioning her. And she said to me, I said to her, your birthday's in a few weeks. We have to start preparing for this birthday party. And she said, oh, don't worry, dear, about it. I said, it takes a while, you know that. We have to decide who's coming, the menu and everything. She loved parties. And she said, don't bother, I won't be here. I said, where are you going to be? She'll be dead. And I looked at her, she just enjoyed the movie and the dinner. And I said, don't joke around like that. And she said, I'm not joking. And I, well, what are you talking about? She said, I'll be dead, that's all. And going home in the car that night, I said, please don't kid around with me because I'm too sensitive about you dying. She said, I don't know why you should be. well, I am. And I said, at least, and then I decided to go into the joke with her. I said, at least give me notice so that I'm prepared. She said 4 days. I took her home and helped her prepare for bed. And I said, I'll bet you anything that this isn't true. And she said, named a figure, $1,000. $1,000. Then I certainly knew that I could bet her that because I was going to win. and I said, okay, you're on. And the next morning, I went in to help her get out of bed. She did need assistance. And she said, I think I'll rest today. I don't quite feel like getting up. And I said, all right. And then she said, by the way, come here, I want to tell you something. I said, what? Double the bet. I said, I will not double the bet. Well, within about 24 hours, I noticed her breathing was very difficult. I called the doctor. He said, get her to the hospital. And she said, no, I'm not going. And the doctor came over to the house, which doesn't much happen in this country. And he loved her. And he said, we can help you. You have congestive heart failure and your lungs are failing and your heart is failing. And she said, I told you I'm dying. Go back to your office, take care of the sick people and leave me alone. And he said, I hear her. So he sent over a nice lady from hospice with some morphine. And 2 days later, she looked at me and she said, bye-bye. Amazing. She was laughing. She was joking. We treated it seriously, finally, filled the room with flowers, said all the things we always wanted to say and might not have. There was completion. And she taught me that she was truly without fear, truly without fear. She also knew deep within her that this wasn't the end, that it was just another step. She knew that my father would be there for her. She knew that she'd be seeing my sister and brother-in-law who had disappeared in a small plane many years before. She knew this. She couldn't believe it. She knew it. And it was that knowing that made it the transition so easy for her and for us. We were there and we were joyous. The whole room was filled with light. We were celebrating. I know it can be that way over and over and over again, but we need to get to the part where we say, please help me take my fear of death away. I give it to you because I no longer want it. Does that help you in any way?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it does. Yes, yes, it does.
Well, we should keep in touch and see how we do.
I've got another question related to this one. I think I have to learn a lesson about this, about getting sick and aging and all this stuff. And I'm actually right now surrounded by people, by friends, much younger friends and older friends who have been diagnosed with cancer. And some of them are at the very latest or the last stages. And I don't know how to behave in their presence. I mean, I don't have to say anything particularly, I think, but what should I think in my mind? Or how should I, what is the attitude I should adopt towards them? Do you have any suggestions?
I certainly do, having been in the same situation myself. and I am right now with a few friends who are dying. I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do, but there is something in me that does. So before I go, or as I walk in the room, or as I come to the hospital, I say this: please, Holy Spirit, I need to know what to say and what to do. I surrender any of my own thoughts. Speak through me. It's a wonderful way of getting rid of any guilt you may feel. I didn't do the Holy Spirit. So seriously though, if you constantly turn it over, constantly, at the most difficult time, you'll find the answer you need. And number one, you will be glad because you'll feel peaceful. Number two, you really don't need to know the outcome. I mean, to go into a room where someone is ill, I think you might be able to heal them. I think it's a mistake. We don't do the healing. But to go into a room and give them love. If the person doesn't like to hear the word love, that's all right. But just in your mind and in your heart. But you can only do it through the Holy Spirit, through your higher self. You can only do it through that part of you that knows no fear. And I think that's the greatest gift you can give to anyone and yourself.